Underdog is the leading place to make all your sports picks, and you can play now in your state. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog, and it's easy. All you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose strikeouts, total bases, or home runs, or go higher or lower on three-pointers or rebounds. You can play with as little as $1. If you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. This week, I'm looking at baseball, and as usual, Aaron Judge is my choice to go higher on the stats that involve his hitting. Download the Underdog app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code GARAGE to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code GARAGE. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncp.gambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
Gilgis, Alexander.
I call him SGA.
Well, Oklahoma City has to be thrilled. I mean, the population of
Oklahoma City. You know who's not thrilled? The scribes, the national scribes, because Oklahoma City versus Indianapolis.
Yeah,
there's not a direct flight between the two cities.
You
gotta basically all of them drive to Dallas 90 miles and then fly to wherever they're going. Even the Oklahoma City writers basically, park at Dallas and fly around the country.
Why not fly to Chicago and drive to Indianapolis?
Because Chicago's a hell of a lot further away from
I'm just
Oklahoma
making the
City.
drive. That's only 11 hours and 2 minutes in the car. Come on, that's nothing.
Oklahoma City?
To Indianapolis? It's 11 hours.
Is it that much? I didn't realize.
I'd just do that.
Well, it kind of depends on traffic.
How
too,
far
when
is
you go through
Indianapolis from Chicago?
It
can't be a long drive.
It's a couple hours, I think. Maybe
That's
maximum. Might not even be 2 hours. I've done it. I know that.
Almost 3 hours.
I've driven to South Bend.
Oh, yeah.
Is that, that's not what, is that 7, basically?
Something
6
like
or
that. Well,
7?
no, it's because it's...
It depends upon how bad traffic is getting through Chicago,
True.
basically. So,
Yep.
In any event, that's where the boys are tonight.
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City, game 5.
It was a 2-point game that I never thought they had a chance to win because, well, the regulars didn't do anything, but the guys off the bench had a great night, especially Nah, the cousin, SGA's cousin, Nah.
I'm seeing at a family reunion with those two a lot of hyphens.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm against hyphens.
God.
Make a choice.
I got to add that to the list.
Make a choice.
I got something I'm against, but I suppose it would make me racist.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take these guys to have their hair done?
I don't know.
Those are tight braids.
I did take a shot at hair about 2-3 months ago, and was told that was not something that we do. We have to put up with all hairdos now. So.
No, I understand. But it looks painful.
Yes, it does. It does take a long time.
I believe. I think don't NBA teams have their own barbers / hairstylists?
A lot of them have a guy there's a a fella in the Twin Cities who comes in and gives everybody haircuts, but those are short.
Oh, okay.
Those are short. Those aren't the whole operation.
Well,
Because that'd be a good gig, man. I bet you get paid real well.
Probably get nice tips.
Yes,
But that's neither here nor there.
No, it's not.
They're better than the Timberwolves.
Yeah,
aren't
they got deeper. They're deeper. They got better players. They got the kid from Minneapolis that played at Minnehaha. Chad Holmgren is an amazing specimen. 7'1".
Yep.
Weighs 213. 7'1". And he can shoot threes and go to the basket. And the first game of the series, he was terrible, didn't do anything. They knocked him down and ran over him. And since then, he's been terrific. The other night, he was great. And blocked shots. He just... The guy who started coaching him in the third grade, Larry Suggs, who's Jalen Suggs' father, was telling me about when he shows up. The kid, like in the fourth grade, he's still coaching. The kid's showing up at the gym in De La Salle, and they come in there one day, and the kid is sitting on top of the basket as a fourth grader. He figures out a way. Thinks he's an artist. He figures out a way to walk across these thin barriers and do it. And then he climbed. He was a climber. He was this adventurous kid. And Larry Suggs said, when I went to his house and found out some of the trees he climbs as a fourth grader, he said, I knew he was going to be a good basketball player.
How did Creighton let him get
took
away?
His risk. I don't know, but he's a Minneapolis kid, so Minnehaha.
Oh, there's a St. Paul kid.
No, Holmgren.
No, I know we were talking about Holmgren. I thought he was a St. Paul kid.
No, a Minneapolis kid. And
Look that up.
I got
I
it.
think Pat's wrong.
No.
Chet Holmgren.
I know he went to Minnehaha.
Yes.
Well, but I thought he was from St. Paul.
His dad went to Minneapolis Central, I believe, and then transferred out to Prior Lake. And the family, Dave, was 7'2". He played with the Gophers. Didn't have a great career.
He was born May 1st, 2002
Yeah.
in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Well, did they live in Minneapolis?
Yes, I think.
Okay,
they live
I
in
stand
Minneapolis.
corrected.
There's a bunch of Creighton guys over there now, but this Ahneman kid who
He's the
transferred,
rare star basketball player in Minnesota that actually played in the city where he was born.
Yes,
Unlike everybody
true.
else.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, Pat, did you see this? The Oklahoma City general manager is a man by the name of Sam Presti, Joe. And someone went through the litany of all these trades he's done. And as Pat mentioned, they have, a kid coming from overseas, and then they've also got 13 draft picks.
Yeah.
Do you know how this whole pyramid of trades started? It originates back to when they were the Seattle Supersonics still,
Okay.
because Presti was in the front office.
He was in Seattle
before they relocated to Oklahoma City, and it started with two trades. In 1997, the Seattle Supersonics traded Bobby Jackson, former Golden Gopher,
really?
to the Denver Nuggets for Rashard Lewis. Then they traded Rashard Lewis, and that's what became all those trades. So it started with our guy.
Seattle ended up in Oklahoma City.
Yes, sir.
Who
Yes.
ended up in Memphis? The Vancouver team?
team.
Yeah.
And basically, the Seattle kept telling them, we need a new arena. We need a new arena. And the city kept saying, no, we're not going to build you a new arena. So then the ownership group sold to this guy from Oklahoma who then said, we need a new arena. We need a new arena. And the bluff got to a point that he said, I'm moving the franchise, and the NBA never thought Seattle would let them They always thought Seattle was going to blink. Pretty soon they're in Oklahoma City and they've lost Seattle. Meanwhile, Gary Bettman, who everybody hates, has Las Vegas and Seattle as franchises. And these guys got Memphis and Oklahoma City. So I would say that Gary Bettman, instead of getting booed, he ought to be applauded every time he shows up in an arena. So anyway.
Well, it's been fun.
But now they're talking about, they think they're going to put the next two expansion they're going to put two expansion franchises in Las Vegas and Seattle, which would then allow our team to go to the East and maybe make it to the finals. So
Okay, so the finals could be OKC and Indianapolis.
and they will be. They're both leading 3-1.
No, I know.
And they're better than.
How about the Knicks choke job in Game 1?
Yes, but the greatest. Did you see this? Did you see Game 1? The end of the Game 1.
And it did not.
The Knicks are blowing this incredible lead, and finally they're going to survive in overtime. And they're Halliburton, who's the guy that gave him the choke sign, throws up this shot, and it bangs off the back of the rim. And it's fine. Tibbs is going to survive. He's going to win Game 1. The ball goes like 12 feet in the air, comes down and goes
straight through the net.
Goes through the basket. And I was talking to somebody, and they're going to, when they have Tibbs, you know, the requiem for Tibbs, they're going to paint his face on that ball, and it's like 8 feet above the basket that comes down and goes in. Impossible. And they kicked that game away, and then they end up. Now,
Did he say he saved his job though? Didn't he, by making the conference finals?
I don't know. I think he saved his job, except they lost that first game.
Yeah.
So it could. But did you see what they did in New York? The mayor had such Knicks fever that they temporarily changed some of the street names.
Oh boy,
Jalen Suggs Avenue and not Jalen Suggs. Jalen Brunson Avenue and Carl Anthony Towns something, and then they're going to end up losing. And I said, after the first two games in Oklahoma City, that the Mayor Fry was going to name First Avenue down there in front of Target Center the Brickyard. but then the boys came home.
It'd be interesting to know the last
Game
time two teams in a major sport of the four majors met for a title, neither of them having won the title.
Oh, I would think it's happened more,
I can't come up with it. Well, Vegas won a cup. They obviously, but they were so new.
Who did they?
Didn't they beat?
I can't remember who they beat.
But they beat Washington. Then Washington turned around and won the next year.
So Washington. Yeah, that could be it. But Vegas was their second season of existence, right?
Yeah.
That's when they beat us, right?
Yes.
In 7 games?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That was one of today's sports disappointments.
Okay.
It was on this day, in 2021, that Vegas closed out the Wild.
Were we ever leading that series? Were we optimistic?
Well, it went 7 games, so they must have had a lead at some point. Mm-hmm. Or
might have been boom, 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 boom. I don't know. But I don't have a great recollection of that series for some reason.
Do you have frost fever?
I do have frost fever.
Do you?
I mean,
can't you tell?
I do.
Sometimes
you're wearing a frost hat.
I think there are some games in their history where they scored more than 1 goal in regulation, but I'm not sure. What is wrong? Every one of the games in this taut championship series went overtime.
Right.
A young lady who works at our paper, Cassidy, was sitting next to me at the game that the Wolves won, where they played, beat them.
By the way, why can't they do that every night?
I don't know. I texted Reavers and I said, you know what Joe says about this one?
Yep.
143 to 101.
Here's the other thing I thought about that. When you get beat, when you're humiliated like that,
yes,
I always wonder if it weighs on you. Well, I got my answer.
Yeah,
it doesn't weigh on them.
Basically, the SGA said, it was good for us. He said, because we were kind of lackadaisical and went into the game thinking it was going to be easy. He said, now we realize we got to play hard every minute.
Boy,
Joe, I did some research here. I Googled the last time a championship matchup in the 4 professional sports featured 2 teams who had never won a championship. The only thing I'm seeing, and I'm perfectly willing to be corrected, is the 1999 Super Bowl between the St. Louis Rams and the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, because the Rams had never won one, right?
Yep.
Even in L.A., they hadn't won one.
So I don't know if that's it, but that's what Google told me.
Okay.
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a rare event.
Yes.
Because Houston never won a Super Bowl before they relocated, right?
When's the last
Tennessee.
time two baseball teams met in the World Series, neither of them having won a series?
I'll be right back. We'll get back on that.
But it's been forever.
Well, who did we? Well, we played the Cardinals.
We played the
and then
Cardinals.
we played the Braves, and
Cardinals had won. The Braves had won.
the Braves. If you go back to Milwaukee,
Right.
The Braves had never won it in Atlanta, but until they finally won one. 14 straight playoff appearances, and they only won one World Series, right? Atlanta. That was amazing.
Oh, I forgot to check in on our Red Hot Twins. How are we doing today?
It was zip.
Boy, can we throw the baseball, Patrick.
Our pitching's good.
4-0, top of 7. The Rays are winning. I think Pablo started today, didn't he?
Yes, Pablo started.
I wondered this yesterday. The Frost players, those are the world's best. These are the world's best players. They're also the Olympians.
To some extent, yes. They must be cheap, though. They must be paying them nothing because Abby Murphy, who's the feisty gopher who was on the 22 Olympic team and is now been over there 5 years, I believe, has elected to go back to the Gophers rather than be like the number one overall draft choice here. So they must not be paying them any money.
Wow.
But
The Frost drew well. They had fans in there.
Yeah, the last game they did, I guess. They during the year they didn't draw too well. I don't know. I got to tell you an inside newspaper thing.
Yeah.
I got a call suggesting that there might be a column in the fact that the Frost made the kind of stupid decision to play their championship game like Saturday, the same day that the basketball team was playing.
Right.
And I said, well, I don't know if I'm the proper person to be outraged by this since I've never been to a Frost game.
Right.
But I think there's somebody out there who could be outraged, but I don't think I'm the one.
It's not going to be me.
Because, and then I did write a column on them before the start of the first season on a Finnish girl who was a ringette star.
Oh, boy.
Tapani was her name. Susanna Tapani.
No relation?
And no, I checked that out. And then they traded her a week later. And then, and I think I wrote a Darwin's column, too. And then they fired my gal, Natalie, so I'm down on them. But, hey, they're two-time champions, and we're expanding to Vancouver and Seattle. And did you see what their expansion draft is?
Mm-mm.
Because these teams were willing to, because they want these two teams to be good, the teams get to protect 3 players.
That's it?
3 players.
Wow.
Yes. So they want these. So these teams are going to, and then you can take one back, and then they can draft another one. They want.
Do you think
What if
women-
you're a Minnesota kid and they get drafted and you don't want to move to Vancouver?
Right. What do you think women's WNBA players are better than at basketball than women are at hockey? Or do you think it's a draw?
To this point, yes, because they've been at it a lot longer. Women's hockey didn't really start till the mid-'90s. But women's hockey has improved greatly.
Yes, it has.
But I think they made a mistake. Now, having not went to a game, I might be wrong. But, in college hockey and high school hockey for girls and women, you can't hit. They bang into each other and stuff, but you can't just run at them and hit them. And that's great because you can carry the puck and you can kind of look down at it and do stuff. You don't have to worry about somebody coming up and hitting you in the face if you look down at the puck. Well, they let them check in this. Now, I don't know how rough it gets, but they let them check. They let them hit each other in this. And maybe that's one reason they can't score any goals. I don't know. But it's when you have a final series that there's 4 games and they're all 2-1 overtime, you got an issue. By the way, I do. Now that you brought up the WNBA, what is your view of the NBA and trash talking? That's part of the charm, isn't it? Part of the charm is trash talking.
Sure.
Hell, the most popular show in the history of pregame and postgame shows, Charles and Shaq and the guys.
That's all they do.
Trash talk.
Right.
The NBA has so much wonderful trash talk amongst each other during the games and everything.
It's cost Anthony $450,000 to trash talk.
Yes, right. Every time he, and they're bitching at the officials and stuff. Well, they can call each other every filthy name in the book on the court, but if he throws it in as an adjective in a post-game interview, they steal his money. So, that's another issue. But there's this big scandal going on now. Brittany Griner, who, by the way, is my favorite player, she spent time in a Russian prison, and she's got a little edge to her. Mm-hmm. And she's a proud lesbian mother, and with her partner and everything. Well, she was playing Caitlin the other day, or somebody, and they're reading her lips about, and she throws in a white. She throws in some white B word or something. I don't know. Supposedly they're reading her lips, and it's a big scandal. So what?
Yeah.
So what? You think Caitlin cares? Caitlin's got an edge to her. She hates being this martyr. I discovered her. I
know you did.
She hates being this martyr of they
she doesn't like the role of being the woman who came in on the white horse.
Yes, she doesn't want to be on the white horse, but this is now we got people breaking down, reading her lips on the see that she said this, and But
I do think people are out to kill her.
Not like they were last year.
You don't think so?
No, not this year. But Brittany, the other day, they're doing the on-court interview with her on the side during the game, and the ref comes back, and she walks away to MF the ref. She walks away. I gotta like that, man. When you've been in a Russian prison, you might have a little edge to you.
That's true.
You got a little edge.
And you also were thinking, I've been in a Russian prison. What can they do to me?
Yes, right. They can suspend me for a game. So what? This is better than a Russian prison.
Joe, I have your...
But they got to let the WNBA has to stop investigating whether there's any
trash talking. Because there is.
There is, and they should have. I'm all in favor of it.
So I have your answer on your World Series question. Was the last time we had one where neither one had won it. But I have to have a clarification. Did the Giants count?
Yes.
Because they relocated from New York.
Yes, they count.
Then it would be the 0-2 series versus the Giants and Anaheim. But if people have an issue with that, then it would be 92.
No.
I'm just saying that.
Well, there's no issue with it.
The San Francisco Giants were in the World Series in 62.
But they lost.
Oh, who won? Oh, he wanted the winner. They had never won it until.
Who did the Giants lose to in 51? When Bobby Thompson hit the home run.
That was
the Yankees.
That was
51 is the Yankees over the Giants, but the Giants were in New York.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, that was the Yankees they lost to.
So the Giants had not won a World Series.
Oh God, they'd won a bunch of them
in New York.
In New York, but never.
That's what I was asking if when they relocated.
San Francisco.
Oh, then I disagree with Pat. I'm not counting that.
Okay, then we have to go back to 92.
Okay,
your Toronto Blue Jays against the Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And
you guys were not in a hotel room talking to each other on the cell phone.
Not long after that.
That was the year prior.
Yeah.
God. We don't have a tape of that, dude.
Oh, it would take me forever to find it. But
It was
you know
the
what?
The grifter, man.
Did
I
you-
missed the grifter.
I got her.
Pat, did you
I
see the great video Kyle did of you guys having the Brian Harper call?
Oh, did
With
Kyle do that?
Kyle did that.
Oh, that was pretty good.
We got to get we now need to do the baby face video
Can we
with you
get that
guys
out there?
doing the Toronto
Oh, would
call.
that be fun to find?
And then you got Griff in there with his. I don't know what happened.
Does that tape exist?
We'll find it.
They gotta get a little black kid with an afro to be part of to play the role of the grifter. You know,
and Grifter said, "I got it.
I got it. It's
I got it.
fine.
We're good."
What was the one line?
Joe's gone. We'll be back. We'll be. But I wonder how that worked.
It
How did
didn't.
that
That's the point.
Oh no, but I mean, wonder how.
I don't know. We were triangulated.
But here's the good part. I'm talking to Griff. Joe's talking to Griff. That Joe and I are talking to each other, but no Griff. I don't know how that worked. I don't know, because we were not on the. Then we're saying, I think we're on here. They said, I don't
don't
think
know.
so.
I don't think we are.
Just so you know, listener, that was way before YouTube.
Yes, right. Yeah. God, well, it was, yeah, it was 91.
Something was going on in the world then too. Some big. There was a world.
Well, the Gulf
91.
War.
There was a world news event
Was
taking
91
place.
the Gulf War?
Yeah, 91 was the Gulf War.
That's what was taking place then.
Yeah.
Why did you think of that?
Because I think Griff's his
Attention?
his attention might have been challenged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's monitoring the news?
Well, I think that we would have been KSCP would have been running the
oh, sure. There you
news
go.
bulletins
For
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Now we.
It was a Saturday.
Who was the Scud Stud? What was that guy's name? The TV guy, the Scud Stud.
Oh, yeah.
Good-looking
A news
guy. That
guy.
was standing on the roof.
Yeah.
And he was saying, he was downstairs having cocktails. They're shooting again. I got to go up on the roof and act like I'm a war correspondent.
All right, I got it here. 2 TV journalists have become known as the Scud Stud. Canadian Arthur Kent,
That wasn't him.
when working for NBC in the 91 Gulf War, and Rage Omar.
Oh, okay. Well, that was
Then
Kent
there was
then.
there was the Canadian guy.
Yeah, it was the Canadian guy.
Yeah.
But we didn't know he was Canadian.
He was born in Alberta. I'm trying to see if there's anything else interesting about
Oh,
him.
there isn't. Don't worry.
Yeah, he acquired the nickname the Scud Stud. There you go.
A very handsome fellow. So, but they all had to go up and stand on the roof when the missiles were coming in. So,
I'm going to get on the Twins bandwagon.
yeah.
Why not?
Let me
Well,
look.
their pitching's really. I said yesterday they have 90 win pitching and 70 win lineup. So we're going to see. It's a battle. It's a tussle to see. Now today they're getting shut out again by.
Yeah, it's top of the 8th, and it's 4-0 Tampa.
Brooks Lee. When you have Brooks Lee hitting fourth, I don't care what we look at the 4-hitter, not like we used to, obviously, but Brooks Lee is a slap hitting 240 hitter, and we have him occupying the place that used to be held by either Tony Oliva or Harmon Killebrew. You got problems. I don't care what anybody says.
And Royce Lewis
Is not hitting right now.
has not done a thing.
No.
And Buxton is how bad?
I heard Atterbury today saying that he hit the ball hard again, and he's hit the ball hard.
Is he with the Saints?
No, Royce is here. No,
Royce.
Buxton's
What about
on
Buxton?
the trip. Supposedly he might play Friday.
Oh.
They're not gonna make him do a rehab. Wallner's like hitting a home run every other at bat in St. Paul, but we had to keep him down there to rehab and get a bunch of.
How does this
at-bats.
make any sense? We're going from Tampa to Seattle, back and then to Oakland?
I can explain that to you, sir.
Talk to me.
The schedule came out with us, it comes out like last September, right? With the,
and
with
then the
the
roof came-
Tampa
okay.
Bay, the Tampa Bay was going to be here for these 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then the American League, or Major League Baseball, got the Twins and the Twins were going to be back in Tampa in July when it's and when it rains, and so they got the Twins and another team, I think Cleveland, to change to to have the games here in the middle of the summer instead of being in Tampa where they expect to rain. Although I heard the Glad Man say today the temperature on the field was 119 degrees.
Oh, my God.
And very humid today down there. So this is not going to work, having them
Was
playing.
that dump that got destroyed by the hurricane, was that air-conditioned? Must have been.
Yes,
It had to have been,
was.
sure.
It was, yeah.
What
It
is
was
the
a
plan?
dump,
Are they going to
though.
repair the roof, or what are they going to do?
Well, I think they're doing it, but by the time they get it repaired, they're going to. Tampa's out of there after 27. The lease goes through 27, and then they're going someplace. I'd guess they're going to try to go to Nashville, but I don't know if Nashville wants them. But they're not going to stay there.
I am
Baseball, Major League Baseball, regular season does not work in Florida for some reason.
Yeah.
A lot of them go back home. The senior citizens with some money, or go back home as soon as their tax dodging is complete. And they've been there 6 months. And the Louis Nannies of the world, they've been there 6 months in a week. Then they come home where they'd like to live instead of being down there tax dodging. And then they go home, and then
hockey is now Florida's primary sport.
Because they basically know they're going to win the cup about every other year. They have
This is going to be a repeat this year, isn't it?
Yes.
Panthers in
And
Edmonton.
This will put the Florida Cup total at 5.
Wow.
Which is only 5 more than Minnesota.
I like Edmonton's chances this year.
I hope so.
I do too.
I do. I'd rather have Edmonton win than I don't know. It's just if Tampa Bay bothers me, but at least it's become a hockey town. But Florida, as you say, you drive by, there's the hockey arena in the middle of a cheap shopping mall, in Florida.
Can you imagine? I always think of the old guys like Rocket Richard, and Terry Sawchuk, and those guys, Glenn Hall, and they're saying, "Where are we playing? You're playing in Los Angeles." What? Can you imagine if it was Florida?
Yeah. Well, it was. It's incredible how the sport has become a national sport. It was not a national sport.
Well, you're onto something with Bettman. He's sharper than people give him credit for.
Yes.
Was he with the NBA?
Yeah, he was Stearns.
That's right.
Stearns right-hand man.
Now they got that guy that looks like he's from Mars.
Did you ever interview Stern?
If I did, I don't remember.
I never felt more inadequate in my life.
Really?
He was the smartest guy I've ever been around in sports.
Who's this Far Side cartoon character they got now? He looks like he's from Mars.
Oh, Adam Silver. Yeah. He's got the bald head, big ear problem.
Oh man,
and he's a sharp guy.
Yeah,
but he's
frightening, is what you're saying.
He needs hair.
He needs something.
He needs hair. But if you put like a big wig on that head,
that'd look weird.
Then it'd look even worse.
Yeah.
So, he's very sharp.
But he might be one of those bald guys that shaves his head.
Yeah, because there's not much here.
There's nothing there. It's a cue ball.
I've been contemplating that. But you think that it would not be?
No, I
good?
don't. I wouldn't.
Even though there's nothing up there.
Well,
anymore?
I mean, I could do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
No. I think it kind of make you look like a cartoon character,
I think
right?
so.
Even more so than you are now. So, boy, did I get a shock this morning.
You didn't go for your morning
I went
dip.
for my morning
You
dip.
did. It was 50 degrees.
But the heater had shut down during the.
She was a little humid though.
So
right?
I never put my toes in there because I thought the heater was still working. And I jumped in there, and once you're in, there's not much you can do about it. But I don't know. It was pretty frigid.
That had to be a shock.
Yeah. Now, of course, there's always the fear that once again, it wasn't because the flame went out. It's because the whole unit went. We don't know yet. We haven't. The doctor.
Well, how many heaters do you have to buy? This is your 10th heater.
It's
You know why you use it too often?
3 or 4, maybe. But what should I do?
You don't heat the pool until you know somebody's going to go swimming.
Yeah, but it doesn't jack right up.
Well, you eat 24 hours.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go swimming. That's why I turned it on.
But the heater didn't work.
I know. It had worked. I just hope we just torched her up. My theory is you put it at a temperature and it stays there. If you spend more money getting it back up there, then
you got a series of mid 80 degree days coming.
Yes,
you shouldn't need the heater.
Well, you don't. Then it doesn't run if it's up to the. I'm keeping it 85.
All right.
And
you impressed me. You're pretty disciplined. If you went for the morning dip today.
I went to the morning dip today, and the dip didn't last long.
No,
because I was.
I am committed.
Yes.
Does the DA ever go for the morning dip?
Once in a while.
Yeah.
I'll talk her into coming out there and paddling around a little bit, but she doesn't usually. She doesn't usually do that. No. She's with this playoff series going and the Wild, and the last 3 weeks have been pretty hectic. We were really getting along well because she never sees me. It's pretty damn good. Pretty dang good. So
we're getting along great.
We grew up on a lake, and my mom went swimming once a year. The 4th of July.
4th of July.
Right?
Yeah.
She'd get in once a year. Yeah. That's my first bride and her sister grew up on Prior Lake. And neither of them swam.
Really?
Yes.
That's hard to do.
Yes.
You'd think they would have fallen in.
You think
you know what I like about
the
Prior
nice
Lake?
thing about being in a lake is you can go swimming.
That's
the
right.
thing I like about Prior Lake, there's only one piece of non-residential property on that entire lake. Remember the place we did the show from?
Yeah.
What was that place called?
Green Mill?
No, what was that
green,
place
whatever,
called?
Not Green.
It is a neat spot. Charlie's on Prior.
Or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was called.
Yeah, well, there used to be.
Called.
It used to be the Green something or other when I was.
Okay.
But you know what they have in there? You should go there. Have you ever been to there? This Charlie's on Prior Lake?
I think so, yeah.
You know what's inside it? They have old postings of all the residents.
Oh, yeah.
Based on some old mail routes or something.
Really?
Fun, nostalgic reading.
Really?
Yeah. You'd find people you knew.
Yes.
You'd find the people where the old man took the snowmobile across the lake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, their food is really good, Pat. You could stop in for lunch.
Okay.
There you go.
I haven't been out there much lately because I don't. My brother's no longer with us, so I don't get out there much anymore.
You only have occasion to go there to vote.
Yeah, and that was Elko where I voted.
Well, Elko.
That was Elko because I lived out in the country.
Yeah.
So Elko was...
You had to drive all the way to Elko to vote? From Prior
the
Lake?
second time. I voted when I voted twice.
Yeah,
I was
here
still
and then Elko.
I voted in Golden Valley, but I was still registered in Elko, so I voted twice. Straight ticket, by the way. 2 anti-Trump votes right there. I want to assure you. God, people used to get mad, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
They call it, they'd mad.
Vote early and vote often.
That's right.
I'm tired today. I voted twice.
What other sports thing do we have?
That's all we got. Golf. What
Oh.
about McIlroy turning his back on Jack?
And not calling him.
Not calling him.
What do you think that's about?
What drama?
Because Rory...
And Jack is trying to pretend he's not miffed.
Oh, you know
he's
ego,
miffed.
especially since Rory apparently called him before the Masters.
Oh, I need some help.
And
I need some tips.
What should I do?
Yeah.
What? He must be having big problems with the missus.
Plus, he has to go home and build some dump out in the woods because she wants to live in England. Mm-hmm. They have to leave Jupiter, Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, she wants to live in
You'd rather
England.
spend winter in London or Jupiter?
Then he'll keep the place in Jupiter and do what he does.
Maybe,
do what he does, and that's what this is about.
If you don't call Jack,
Yes,
you got a problem. You got something
That's
that you
because
can't handle.
That's because your wife threw the cell phone at you.
Right.
And
Shattered it.
And broke it. And that's the only cell phone you had Jack's number in. And she tried to hit you in the head with it, is what I
can't
think.
believe he's not playing in that tournament.
No. Or I can't believe he didn't at least make an excuse.
I mean, he's the new king. You got to bow to him like they did to Arnie.
Yes.
So they all play at the memorial and then shake his hand.
He's a little shaky now, Jack is. A little.
Well, he ain't a spring chicken anymore.
No.
What is he, 85?
But you know who would scare me? Jack wouldn't scare me, but Barbara would.
Ooh.
Barbara.
You think she kept a close look at that whole situation? Mm-hmm. All those years? You know that he flew home from tournaments? Flew home at night from tournaments? He had his own plane? I think Barbara might have said,
85 years old. You were right, Joe.
You're coming home after this race. I don't think he did if he's on the West Coast.
What, we had him here only about 7-8 years ago, right? 10 maybe at maximum. He played at the. He showed up
For the 3M?
3M and played. I think Hollis had him for an exhibition with Trevino and Arnie. You know.
Did he come here to play the Royal, the one?
He might have played that too when it opened.
Which is now going private, I think.
Wasn't what it was before? It was semi-private. You could be a member or
I think
something.
it was just public.
Well, no, it was semi-private. Hollis owns that. Hollis
didn't know that.
Yeah, he's one of the primary owners there.
I'll call him and ask him.
We played that baby a lot when it was Tartan, right?
I never played it.
That was Tartan?
It was Tartan.
Oh, that was one of our official golf courses. We had the connection.
I like to stand sideways. Slice, let it straight.
Well, we had our, right. We preferred North Oaks, though, because not only did we get to play North Oaks, Ray would buy us lunch when we were done.
I had a very close uncle who was a charter member.
Paul, right?
No, Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah. And I never got invited again.
Really?
Never once.
Well, you should have. You were retired from golf for so long. You weren't playing it when North Oaks was the home course for the St. Paul sports staff. It was fantastic. Ray was the greatest. Ray Benowitz was the greatest.
Not only that, but my kid I used to have became an accountant, which was what Jerry did, and you would think he would have had him just to talk about accounting. That didn't happen.
No.
And now we lost Jerry.
Jerry didn't want to pay that guest fee.
I don't know if it was cheap or just didn't want to see some bad playing or what. I don't know.
You never played North Oaks?
Oh, I have many times, but not with him.
Not with him. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hell of a golf course. I love that golf course when I played. I could not play now. I mean, I could never play, but I could not. I don't think I could hoof it from the golf cart out to the middle of the fairway. Not the middle of the fairway, out in the woods someplace.
Well, take it up again.
I don't think so.
Why not?
He's already a swimmer. What else do you want from him?
Well, you are doing the morning dip.
Yes, you don't have to. Yeah, but you don't have to pay for the heat when you're playing golf. That's for sure.
That's enough.
I was thinking about that the other day driving by a course. Man, I played 50 times a year. Every Tuesday, boom. Even if I had to play by myself.
Where? At that Valley of the Tree?
Any place that it had me. No, Fountain Valley, the only time I played there was Carl Peterson because he didn't like to play hard golf courses. So,
well, didn't you play Woodhill to the point where you were taken aside and said, "Look, pal, you're..."
Well, no, but that was because I got banned from Woodhill.
Because of the Vikings' wives?
Because of Roger Hedrick's wife.
That's right.
Because she suspected that I gave CJ the note that the only Woodhill members not invited to the wedding were the co-owners of the Vikings.
Yeah.
And
what wedding?
She suspected for Hedrick's daughter, I think, or son. I'm not sure, but it was a Woodhill wedding.
Yeah.
And she suspected that I gave CJ the note, which I had, but I denied it vociferously. But
they told you you're done.
Well,
Or tone it down.
they
or
said, yeah, why don't you stay away for a year or so? And then I never came back. But the fun was Wheelock.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday, Wheelock invited me out to play Woodhill. And he said, we could take this picture on the first tee.
Right.
Myself and Wheelock and the other guy. You can tell people you played Woodhill. And I said, well, I will. I will, Wheelock, but I did play here yesterday with Alyssa and
What, Heron?
Alyssa Heron, who worked there, and somebody and another gal. So
I haven't been there in ages.
no, but you still drive by there slowly, and you can smell the money.
Oh, yeah.
First three lockers
Yeah.
were Cargill McMillan, Whitney McMillan, and
McMillan.
Duncan McMillan.
Duncan.
Those were the first. You don't even have to see what the last name is when the first names are Cargill, Duncan, and whatever
Maximilian.
whatever their names are. So the Wolves probably end tonight, and our baseball team is better than I thought they were because they have very good pitching.
Yes, sir.
So, and what else we got?
We just need to sell a car and we're done.
And the Frosts are world champions.
Yep.
How many other teams but the Frost
Can hoist
have won the Pro Hockey League
an
title?
Arthur Cup? What is it called?
Walter.
The Walter Cup.
You know why it's called Walter?
Because of the family that started
Laker
the
guy
league.
basically financed the whole league. Not that well if my girl Abby Murphy is not going to play in it, by the way. He didn't finance it that well, but we are the champs. Are they going to have a parade in St. Paul?
Tonight.
Where is it at?
Well, I don't know if it's a parade, but it's more
Around
of a
the little park
hey,
there?
come meet the gals.
Okay.
One of those deals.
All righty. Well, I should go there. I could meet a couple of them.
There you go.
All right. Hey, yes. Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM Dealers. Valley Group of GM Dealers loaded up with Buick SUVs, 2024s, 2025s, all the varieties, and fantastic prices right now. Not only factory rebates, but very low interest rates. The guys who handle the financing at Valley Group out in Apple Valley are great. I've worked with them in the past. They'll make it happen for you. Come on out there. Look at the Valley Group website, and you can see the whole stock that they have out there. The inventory is fantastic right now. Great deals going on. And if you've been watching sports, you can see a lot of these Buick SUV ads. They're terrific machines. Jim Paul and Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM Dealers in Apple Valley. I recommend them highly.